Hi everyone, my name is Julie. Thank you so much for watching. And today we're doing the makeup eyeshadow tag. This is something I don't normally do. I don't normally do tag videos, but someone said, hey Julie, I want your opinions, and I am willing to share them. So let's get into this. This tag was created by Allie and Samantha. Samantha March is like very well known in this community. Allie I'm not as familiar with, but I'll leave them linked down below. I actually saw this from Emily Noel. I realized after she asked me to do this that I do have people that I watch here on YouTube that did it, and I thought it was really fun. So I'm excited to show you what I have. I actually don't have anything that Emily Noel was talking about in hers, which is funny because I normally buy a lot of her recommendations, but what she ended up pulling up was not exactly what I have in my collection currently, so I thought that was really fun. But let's go into it. So the first one is show us your newest palette, and I actually just bought this today. So I don't know if it's newest on the market, but it's newest to me, and that is the Tarte Be You Naturally eyeshadow palette. I believe this came in a BoxyCharm, but I ended up buying this. It's brand new, but technically I bought it used. I bought it from Facebook. Look at that packaging with the palm on it. This is your most basic palette you could ever imagine. It's boring. It's your everyday palette, but that is what it looks like. I'm excited to try Tarte eyeshadows again. You'll see one here that I tried to pan like in 2017 that I'm not quite done with yet. And that's the last time I ever tried Tarte eyeshadows because after I panned that, I was done. I was done with that palette. So I will say this, I'm not a huge fan of the packaging. I don't like round packaging. I find it very hard to utilize in my collection and store, but I bought this one because I just wanted to and the price was right. Question number dos. What is your oldest palette? And I have two palettes that I've had for a very, very long time. One is my Sephora palette, but I couldn't remember exactly when I bought that, and I will be throwing it out here shortly. So I thought I'd pull this one out, which I think is just a few years younger than the one, but I don't know. This is like 10 years old. This is the Lorac Pro Mini palette. When they came out with the Lorac Pro the very first year, it sold out so quickly. They ended up having these minis instead of the Pro, and it just has 3 shades in it: Ivory, Gold, and Cocoa. And you can see I've actually used this quite a bit, but they don't smell any different. Yeah, it's been a while since I've used these, but I still have them. I have like theories in my head on how I'm gonna pan all these eyeshadows I own. It's never gonna happen, but in my head, it might possibly. So that is my oldest palette. I don't even think you can get any more. You used to be able to get it from Ulta. It used to be like part of like the stand. I know when I worked at Ulta, we sold the Pro 2, like the gray one, and one in black too, which was beautiful. If you're just looking for like an easy trio, I thought that those were great. And I like Lorac shadows. Like, I think they're as good as any other. My most expensive palette is a Lorac palette. This is the Lorac Mega Pro 2, and this was $60 when it came out. Again, one that is well loved in my collection. This was part of my 1 month 1 palette. I really just love playing with this. There's a lot of neutrals, but a lot of shine in it, enough color to keep me interested, but not enough to like push me over the edge. And, oh, you can see, look at it. There's me looking at you, looking at me, looking at you. It's like never ending. Yeah, this is my most expensive. You can see there is some really good use on some of these. I need to also pan this one. I'm gonna say that about all my eyeshadows. But most expensive, 60 bucks. I don't have any of like those crazy like $100 ones or $200 ones. I just have too much eyeshadow that I've been working on. And plus I've been working on not buying stuff, especially in the last 3 years, which I feel like has kind of been when more expensive palettes have gotten popular. Like, yeah. I don't have any Pat McGrath. I do have one. I have one super mini Natasha Denona palette, but I haven't even tested this yet. And this was only $25, and I think I got it on sale for $12.50. So I don't have any super expensive eyeshadows. I do have a couple singles, but this is eyeshadow palette tag. And some of my singles were like $15, which if I bought multiples of those would be my most expensive palette. So maybe my Z palette? No, I'm still gonna go with the Lorac Mega Pro because I don't count a Z palette as like an actual palette. My most affordable palette is also my smallest palette. and that is Wet n Wild Sweet as Candy. I bought this one right when they were changing packaging, so it's not actually super old, but I really like it. You can clearly see I like the pink, clearly. But it's just a little trio. It's super easy. I travel with it. It's like, it's just so easy. Like, it's your look right there, and then you're done, and you know you look just a little bit more polished and ready to go for the day, and sweet as candy. Most affordable. And that thing is like, I got it for $3.50. It's like very affordable. You can't ask for more affordable than that. My everyday palette. This was really hard for me to do because I am a project planner. I really just pick a palette each year and focus on that. And especially this year, since I'm doing 1 month, 1 palette, I'm only working on a palette for 30 days and then I'm like completely switching it to something different. But if I think about what I want for just an everyday, easy look, this is what I would go for. This is the Don't Quit Your Daydream by Tarte. Wait, did I say I haven't had another Tarte palette? Lies! It's all lies! For some reason I thought this was Too Faced. No, this is Tarte. I have tried Tarte eyeshadow since then. Oh, good! That makes me happy. Okay, because I really like the formula here. What I like about this one is that you can't mess it up. Now, if you are dark, medium, light medium, this might not work for you. But if you are pale, if you are light, this palette is beautiful. This was a limited edition, but they come out with these like every year. It's like this one and they come up with like a smoky one. Like they just switch the colors around a little bit. I like it because not only do you have like a really big highlight, you've got the matte cream, you've got a couple mid-tones here. I mean, mid-tone for me. And then just a few deeper shades. It's nice, it's easy, it's good for the office, it's good for every day. Like if I could do one shadow looks, like Strive is a great one shadow look, or Boss Lady is a good, but it's simple. It's my everyday go-to. Like I'm thinking about taking this with me when I move. That's how much I want it. Like it's my everyday palette. That's what I would look for. Let's talk about my most colorful palette. This is up there with it. This is my BH Day and Night 60 color eyeshadow palette. Now, in all fairness, I actually haven't used this yet. I swapped for this last summer, and I just haven't gotten around to using it yet. I should make this my 1 month, 1 palette, though, for next month. Like, I feel like this is one that I've forgotten that's in my collection, because it's just so colorful. And you might be looking at this through whatever you're watching, your cell phone, or your computer, or your TV, or whatever. And you're like, that's not super colorful. It is for me. It is for me. Like, using these greens and these blues, like, I feel comfortable in, like, the pink-purple range. Like, this is my home base. But even these deeper shades are very intimidating to me. I keep this around for more dramatic looks. I keep this around for holiday looks, like Halloween. I keep it around for things like that. I don't really keep this around for, like, day-to-day use. And I find the pans to be so small here. It's almost like, I don't know, but I like BH Cosmetics eyeshadows, especially their baked formula. I do have a runner-up for the most colorful, and that are these. Do you remember when I hauled these? This is the I Heart Revolution Strawberry Sprinkles. I also have the raspberry one and the gold one, but these are so colorful. But I don't know why, but I find these to be more wearable, which is stupid, right? Is this supposed to smell like strawberry? I don't remember that when I reviewed it, but yeah, this is really bright, it's really colorful. These are highly pigmented shades, but I just think they're really fun to play with. That like makes me want to put that on right now. Like, isn't that shade just like beautiful? I think it'd look good with my ensemble of like nothing. It's like, you're getting dressed up to go nowhere. That's me. Getting dressed up to go nowhere. Okay. Now, the next 3 are all the same answer to my palettes, which tells you how much I love this palette. So this is my biggest palette. This is my favorite palette from my favorite brand. And this is also the palette that is worth the hype. And I'm talking about the BH Cosmetics Zodiac palette. I promise you, this is not an ad for BH Cosmetics. I just happen to find their stuff reasonably priced, really good quality, and the level of shine I'm looking for without making me feel like I'm playing with play makeup. So that's why I like their stuff. I got this again at Sephora. Did I get this at Sephora? They sell them at drugstores here in Europe too. But I think I got this one from Sephora because I got it before I moved here. And this also could be my most colorful, but I feel like in terms of bright colors, it doesn't have as much. But look at that. Look at that. Okay, first of all, love the fact they're all mattes in the middle. I love that the outside is all shimmers. You've got your best formula from BH Cosmetics, which are your bakes, which are your shimmers. And you get everyday looks. You can jazz it up a little bit. Like you've got those purples, you've got the blue, like this blue or Sagittarius. You have greens. It's neutrals, but with nice pops to it. And the packaging is large. It's like, I don't know, like here's a nail polish. Like it's large, like that's a big palette. I also find this hard to store. So it is my biggest, it is my favorite, and it is worth the hype. When people were talking about this, I didn't really see where they were going with it, but I was wrong. This is 110% worth the hype. The quality is there. It goes all day without a primer. There's very little glitter fallout, unlike the Wild Child palette, the BH Cosmetics Wild Child. There's just so much good about this palette, and you get the diversity that you're looking for. Like, it's not powdery, it's not streaky, it blends beautifully, the pigmentation is great. 10 out of 10, recommend this palette. You can get them on sale now, at least in Germany. Occasionally, BH will go like 20% off, or buy one, get one 50% off. Highly recommend. And I'm thinking about getting the Love palette that came out, but I want to use up some of my eyeshadows first, which is never going to happen. I'm never going to be to the point where like, I need an eyeshadow. Like maybe when I'm 80, then I'll work through all this makeup that I've purchased. But my most used palette is another Tarte palette. This is one that I tried to pan in 2017, and I have continued to pan it and use it. Look at that. So I clearly have finished two. I've got pans in these two. The bronzer is gone. The highlighter is half gone. I'm actually going to trash this palette. I need to just depot this highlighter, and I was kind of waiting for my Too Faced Little Black Book of Bronzers, which I'm panning this year, to get an empty spot for it. So I think actually maybe later today, probably later today, I'm going to just crumble this up and move it over so I can actually get rid of this one. I don't ever want to use this again. I'm so sick and tired of this, and I don't really love the quality of the shadows in here. So it's here for a little bit longer. I just need to transfer that highlight over. I also won't be calling this an empty because I didn't even finish half of it. So yeah, I'll probably just trash this and wish for the best. Just give it, what does KonMari say? Thank it for its job and then trash it. Thank you, bye. Or thank you next. Maybe that's what I should say. Maybe instead of KonMari, I should do a little Ariana Grande. I want to talk about the eyeshadow palette that has the best memory for me, and it's actually one I don't already have. I gave it away to a girlfriend who really wanted it, and it is an Urban Decay Vice palette. I think it was 3. When it comes to memories and makeup, I have so many great memories. Like, I remember who gifted them to me. I remember where I was when I purchased it a lot of the times. I remember my feeling. I remember the excitement. Since I worked at Ulta, I like kind of knew like what was cool and what was hip and what like everyone was buying. And I feel like I've kind of fallen out of that a little bit. Like, I don't really know what's super popular right now. And I have, when I look at my collection, I really thought about this because I'm like, oh, this one my sister gave me and that reminds me of my sister. And, you know, these two remind me of my best friends. And I was just like, oh, like Jenny and Amy, like they've gotten me makeup. There's one that I remember getting that like I hunted down. And I was like, maybe I should choose that one because like I hunted it down, but then it was a Kat Von D palette and I don't want to, what is she now called? Like KVD Vegan Beauty. We all know it's Kat Von D Beauty. Like you didn't even change the initials. But I was like, oh, I waited like 4 years to buy that palette because I had to like save up for it. So I was thinking about that one and I was thinking about like the Hourglass, but Hourglass is an eyeshadow. And then I thought about, you know, what screams eyeshadow me. And one of my favorite memories working at Ulta. And it's such a shallow memory, but it's one that just, it shows how great of a team I was on when I worked at Ulta. So I was hired as seasonal help. This is gonna turn into a bit of story time. I was hired as seasonal help at Ulta, and I had just moved to Washington State, and I didn't know anybody. And they kind of took a chance on me. Like, I was in the history field, I was working in museums, but I needed a job. I couldn't find a job in the museum field in my area. So I just applied at Ulta at the local mall, and because I was into makeup, and they said, great, thank you so much, come on board. And it was like a month later, they were giving out gratis, so free products, and they gave me this Urban Decay Vice 3 palette. And I almost burst into tears. I was so excited. It was the new Urban Decay holiday release, and it was one of those things everyone on YouTube was talking about, and I felt so cool getting it. You know, it's one of those things I was just like, I just felt like I was king of the world. I felt so excited that Ulta believed so much in me that they gave me free makeup. Like, I was part of the team after like 4 weeks. And yeah, and eventually it turned out to be not something that I particularly was using. So I ended up giving it to a girlfriend here in Germany who is obsessed with makeup. And she had never gotten a Vice palette. And I was like, oh, I have one and I'm not using it. Do you want it? And she like almost burst into tears. But I just remember that moment of getting this eyeshadow palette, and I literally hugged it. Like, my manager handed it to me and she goes, Julie, we're so happy you're part of the team. Thank you so much for joining us. And it was just one of those nicest things of being like recognized, of being a hard worker, and my manager was really awesome. And after a month, like, she didn't have to give me anything because I hadn't really proven myself yet. And I just remember hugging this palette and being like so excited and being like, I've never had an Urban Decay palette. I've always wanted an Urban Decay palette. Like a Vice palette. I think I had at the time the Naked one, the Naked Original, like the gold tone one, which I should have also gave away. But it was like it was just one of those moments where you got something that was like so well loved by other people. And at the time I didn't have money to really afford it because I had only started working. Like, I might have like just gotten my first paycheck. She might have given it to me when I got my first paycheck. But it was just like a really nice welcome to Ulta, and I really enjoyed working at Ulta. Like, I don't know what it's gonna be like now after like coronavirus and things opening up. I feel like it's gonna be a little bit more stressful because you've got to clean so much more and people are dirty. But that's a whole nother thing here and there. But I just remember that feeling of just feeling loved. And that's the feeling that I like about makeup. Like, it's not just a product, it's the community. Like, it's you guys, it's me, it's the other YouTubers that I watch. Like, there's a whole range of people that makeup affects, and it's this community that I really like. And I feel like that palette kind of just brings it full circle. Like, I don't know, it's like a feeling of the makeup community that's just nice. And even if I didn't use the eyeshadow, it was the recognition, and then passing it on to a girlfriend who was also so excited about it. It's like, to me it cost nothing, right? Because I got it for free anyway, so I couldn't like sell it. So just passing it on to a girlfriend who loved it, and it's like really putting some hurt on it, which is awesome. I just think that's nice. I don't know. That is my eyeshadow palette tag. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Happy panning, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.